Some of y'all will ride a high horse to hell rather than wrestle with being wrong. I think that's my opinion. So hello, my conservatives. This is my third video where I'm just like spitting just off the top of my head opinions, things that are just kind of weighing heavy on my chest. And I just want to get out there, um, you know, just to just kind of have my position out there. And one of the things that I feel like I've noticed for a majority of conservatives is this idea that once someone on your side, someone in your in group, or somebody in your, it's not even in your in group, like even if it's your favorite celebrity or whatever, your favorite politician, whatever the fuck it is, like if that person does something wrong, if that person has some sort of flaw that is demonstrable, man, y'all will ignore and explain away that to basically insane, harmful degrees. Like you hear about people, you're like, oh, it's a cult. You guys are in a cult or whatever. And you'll be like, no, we're not in a cult. But then like somebody does something terrible. Somebody does something bad. Oh no, I don't believe they did it. And I think that's not new. Again, my experience of conservatives in the US is, especially with religious conservatives, is, I mean, it has to go back to the child abuse of church leaders. Like, it's so funny to me that after 9/11, and there was all of this, anti-Muslim hate, and it was like, well, Muslims should be doing something about the extremists in their community. If it's not all Muslims, why aren't more Muslims speaking out about, the extremism in their religion, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, like, fucking, Catholics, Protestants, it doesn't matter what denomination, the stories about church faith leaders, pastors, deacons, whatever, abusing women, abusing young, vulnerable church members, and the church hushing that up, man, you find so easy to find. Do those people get hung up? Do those people get like blasted? No. Like the whole thing is always a scandal about how does it end up getting covered up, and then everyone in the church is like, oh, I can't believe it happened. Oh, there's like this whole ignorance, but at the same time, like the anger, the fury, the passion, never there. Hi, wee. It's never there. It's never there for you guys. Like the families that are impacted get impacted, and then they're mad. They have the passion and they're pissed, and then they'll end up going to another church or whatever. But like this whole, well, you should be policing your own, not even fucking there. Then you get to this concept of, oh, well, the people on the left, cancel culture this, cancel culture that. Number one, there's a whole thing there that is tied to race that I think a lot of conservative lay people aren't aware of because of how conservative leadership talks about race. But be that as it may, cancel culture, woke culture are both concepts that came from underprivileged communities that talk about how to police certain members of not only the in group, but certain groups that affect that oppressed group. Okay? So you're sending some signals there, that you may not realize you're sending to people of color, or some people of color. But anyway, one of the things about cancel culture is people on the left, like everyone's like, well, both sides have extremism. Here's the thing that I don't think you understand. The left, the huge spectrum of the left, like herding cats. There's a huge thing in left-leaning American spaces where there's huge conversations about the left cannibalizing each other. you know, the ability for people to come together and coalesce around one thing and ignore all others is not a quality of progressive activist politics or whatever. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, if you see conservatism as stability and order, then progressivism is chaos, and chaos doesn't organize very well or very effectively. You mean you can't have this nice, neat, orderly, chaotic regime, right? That's conflicting. That doesn't make any sense. I think Al Franken is a great example of someone who got canceled by the left for something he did several decades ago that was inappropriate with another comedian. He, as far as I know, lost his seat, if not as a direct result of that immediately, but shortly after that, he did not get reelected. Comedians, the Seinfeld comedian got canceled for, something racist that he said. And the thing is that when it comes to people on the left saying, hey, that's not appropriate, you need to apologize or whatever, yeah, you get varying degrees of intensity for that. But the simple fact of the matter is that you can't cancel powerful people. Powerful people are so powerful that, like, them getting criticized, the social power to say, hey, you're doing something that's inappropriate and we don't want to support it. I mean, how is that not the same as fucking capitalism voting with your dollars, right? Like, it's so crazy to me that the left is doing the thing that conservatives say should be done, exercising free speech, voting with their dollars, etc. And it's frequently happening to people on the left, but on the right, with Matt Gaetz, Laura Loomer, Andy Ngo, who's that one congresswoman in Colorado? Like, it doesn't matter, like, it's a dime a dozen. Andrew Tate's and all of these things. Like, these people do not get canceled by conservatives for being, against Christian values or being against conservative values of charity, of if you want small government, then why not exercise that in your own companies? Like, if there's a problem with, some lord at the top telling people what to do at a governmental level, why is it not true? Why is it not also true for CEOs? Like, make it make sense, right? You want small government, so why isn't there more conversation about from these leaders about making it easier for people to engage politically at the local level, giving them, time and benefits if they decide to engage in local political activities, like, if these are the big important things. Universal child care, the conservative position is anti-abortion, yet I hear nothing about universal child care or making access to child care easy beyond just a talking point, but actual policies. I'm a part of several different groups that are pushing to make childcare more affordable, and conservatives are not actively engaging in any meaningful way on those efforts. And again, all of this to say, y'all can't kill your darlings. You guys can't police yourselves. If a conservative does something bad, y'all find some way to make it not a bad thing anymore. And it's crazy to me. Like, how am I supposed to feel safe around people who, they hear racist, misogynistic, or violent rhetoric, post violent memes, threatening whatever, violent hubcap stickers talking about Second Amendment rights, this, that, or the other, or whatever. How How am I supposed to feel safe around people like that? Because here's the funny thing is that I'll say something like that. It was like, hey, I feel like you're dangerous. I feel like you're like, oh no, I'm very loving. Meanwhile, you literally just expressed a violent idea. And it's like, oh, well, you're just too soft. You're just too weak. Then Luigi Mangione, comes out here, pops a cap in a CEO, and people are like, oh, no, that's not how we do things here in America. It's not. I would like to cite the revolution. There was the what was it? Was it the Boston Massacre? Was it? And then there was also there was something that happened in Lexington, Connecticut, I think, as well. We're all about violent revolution. What the fuck are you talking about? French Revolution? Off with their heads? Like, when I got taught these things, I was not taught, oh, no, these are bad things. It was like, oh, the people were just so frustrated. They were so mad that, they had to do a violence. Now, when it's happening that people are doing a violence, oh, no, that's bad. Oh, January 6th, oh, no, that was an inside job. No, it wasn't conservatives. Conservatives would never do that. I heard that during the election season. I went on Nextdoor and I was like, hey, neighbors, I just want to let you know I'm going to be putting out a political sign. Please help me feel safe by, not vandalizing it or whatever, just as a kind of a call to action to be like, hey, this is what civility looks like. If you disagree with this, just pass on by. The amount of conservatives that said, oh, conservatives don't do violent acts, that's only liberals, was more than one. And it's crazy to me if you think your political similars are incapable of extreme, violent, or just immoral behavior. If that's what you believe, if you believe that it is impossible to be on your political side and have evil, wicked people in positions of power, in positions of influence, or just casually members of the community with which you interact with, you don't know what evil looks like. You don't know what bad looks like. You don't know you don't know what anything looks like. All you know is your side is your side and you're ride or die with them no matter what. That is how you get extremism. That is how you get fascism. That is how you get authoritarianism. If you aren't as aggressive policing your side as you are policing the other side and making sure that the quality of people talking on behalf of your principles are not meeting a high standard, then you don't know what bad looks like. You don't know what evil looks like. You don't care. I think that's the bigger thing is maybe you do know. And I think what I'm going to finish to say is that you don't care. As long as the bad guy is on your side, as long as the evil is working for what you want, you don't care. As long as they hurt the people that you want to hurt, you don't care. And that's some Nazi shit. That's some slave owner shit. It's not even slave ownership. That's just some, rebel South shit. That is some slave apologia shit. You're the Romans. You're the redcoats. You're the ones who are against America. Because as long as your king is the king that you like, fuck everybody else. So yeah, that's my position. That is my position. This is why, that's why you deny facts, I guess. Because, yeah, you don't give a fuck about anything if it makes you look wrong or if it makes you look bad or it makes your side look bad. So, I mean, try to convince me that I'm wrong, but if you look at the conservative landscape, I think you're gonna see more often than not that's the tone of it. So I don't know. Let me know.